In this video, it's time to start tackling some issues on my 1986 Citroen GSA. Primarily the fact it stinks of fuel when you fill the tank. But I don't think it's the tank that's leaking. I think there's some pipe work at fault. And secondly, we've got a gearbox oil leak. I'm not going to be able to fix the leak today. I know what it is. It's the offside drive shaft. I don't think that's a job I can fix. I think it's going to involve drive shaft removal. Might have to farm that job out, but I do need to check. There's actually still some gearbox oil in there. I don't know how long this leak's been going on. She does drop a few drops every time I park her up, so I don't think it's a vast amount she's losing, but nonetheless I think we can consider it undesirable. So those are the jobs I'm going to do on this car today. In terms of general service, I could do with swapping the tyres because I've scrubbed the edges off these Nankangs by driving like an idiot. So I'm going to swap the tyres around. I've got plenty of axle stand so I can get the whole car lifted up. And that's about it. But because I'm a man who likes to drift somewhat, I might also start doing some work on the 2CV. Ellie, the 2CV, you may have seen in a recent video, the wiper's jammed up completely. So I need to remove the linkage. I'm probably going to send that off to my friend Colin, who has offered to replace the spindles and make them watertight, so that would be good. Might also take the vent flap out. The little flap beneath the windscreen, because I've fitted that really badly. You can see it bubbling up. The seal is squashed in various places because I've over tightened the nuts, so I need to back those off, but I think I'll take that off, might put some fresh sealant behind it and put that back in as well. Can't promise that's going to happen in this video. It's something that needs to happen. This is the problem when you have a fleet of multiple cars. You can end up a bit stuck. You know, what do you fix next? The cars I've got on the road at the moment are the Vectra, which is not here, Foxan, who is just there, and this pair of Citroens. These are my road legal cars, but I can't drive the 2CV with no windscreen wipers, and if I drive this ignoring the fact it's got a gearbox and a fuel leak, then that's just insanity. So we'll have a bit of an explore and see what's what. I think I'm going to start in the boot, so you might as well come with me really. We'll come up the back, squeeze you down here without smashing the cars. Oh, and there we go, I hit Ellie. Try as I might, I just can't avoid hitting something. And yeah, we'll have a look in here. Right, oh, we've got a mailbag in here I still haven't actually processed. So this is the rigmarole you have to go through to remove the parcel shelf on this car. It's very, very irritating. This flappy bit should retract in to the shelf here, but it never does, never ever. So that's broken. But it's just a faff. I mean, why didn't they just use the same sort of pivoting lift up system as everyone else? So there's a mailbag of items I still haven't looked at yet. Problem is, Miss HubNut has got addicted to mailbag, and she gets very upset if I try opening stuff when she's not here. So that does constrain me somewhat. I'm going to have a tidy up in the boot because, unsurprisingly for one of my cars, there's a lot of mess in here. And that'll give me access to some removable panels, so we can have a look around there, check the pipe work for the fuel system. Right, we've got the boot clear, and there's a little access panel just there. So I'm going to remove that, which will mean I've got to climb into the boot. Right, here we go. I have no idea what's under this metal plate, so this is going to be somewhat interesting to discover. Oh, there we go. Ah, interesting. We've got some very new looking pipes, so that's an encouragement. But I can't really see any evidence of leakage. The pipe work appears to be in good order here. That's a hydraulics, I think. Let's bring you in. So this is what we've got here. There's the fuel sender and that bit of pipe work taking it forward, but that all appears new and feels fresh and fine. Just what I can see of it. It's nice and rubbery. But I think this may be, that might be a return, and this might be a breather pipe. That feels much harder. Again, it's in good order here, but it's just trying to work out. Yeah, I think that must be a return back into the tank, which is down here. Interesting, something has been living in here by the look of it, making itself quite at home. So we might try and clear some of that out. I think this might be the rear height corrector going on here. Yeah, it's a height control lever, I think, going forward. So the height controller is down there, a separate one front and rear, and various hydraulic pipe work here as well. But yeah, certainly from what I can see, the issue with pipe work is not here, so perhaps a bit of a waste of time pulling it off. I'm just going to have a look at the underside of that. Yeah, it all looks okay. So that's secure, that's secure. I think next I'll probably need to raise the back of the car and crawl under it. And by raise, obviously I mean actually jack it up and use axle stands, not just reach under a hydraulic Citroen. That's never ever considered a good idea. Because would you put your faith in French hydraulics? I certainly wouldn't. So I shall set about doing that and come back to you. Wait for it to get to full height. Well, this is the main feed pipe for the tank. It doesn't feel brilliant. Not sure that's the best way of holding it. That looks like a chafe point right there. Oh, it could be a hold up there where it's resting on the body. And there's the breather pipe. But the breather pipe is A, attached, and B, doesn't seem to be in terrible condition, but then it's going off up inside the rear wheel arch. Well, there's all sorts of crazy shenanigans going on in here. That's the breather pipe attached to the main feed pipe, which is steel on this section, but still seems all in good order. And yeah, then it goes off into mysterious places. And there's also a random pipe. Oh, I think that's water, perhaps. Yeah, is that a water drain pipe? Oh, if it is, it's rather clogged. Yeah, I think that's meant to be a water drain down there. So if water gets in here, it can get out, which it can't. So I might do something about that as well. But yeah, I can't find any clues as to what's going wrong. Slightly intrigued by this box. I might get this apart and see what's going on in there. This all seems a bit peculiar. I think this is the right area. I can definitely smell petrol, but then I've just removed the fuel cap, so maybe I'm just, yeah, imagining problems. But this one might go down as a bit of a mystery. But I'm pretty sure it's not leaking fuel here, because I haven't ever seen fuel on the floor. And in my experience, when these senders start leaking, you get major leakage, and it's all over the place. This just smells like fumes. And yeah, a bit irritating. But I can't find the source. I wonder if I actually fit the trim. There should be a, I mean, that carpet's meant to go around there for a start. There should be a plastic cover over that. Maybe that'll improve matters and at least keep the fumes from escaping into the passenger compartment. But yeah, this one's going down as a bit of a mystery. Right, so having utterly failed to sort the fuel out, I thought I'd turn my attention to the gearbox. And unfortunately, that's all a bit Citroen. The filler is down there somewhere. I think access is probably going to be better from underneath, but even then it's going to be dodgy. I think it might actually be ramp time. But the GSA needs to go back a bit first so we can come up the ramps. Never the most fun activity, but I better make it so. Clear a bit of space at the back so it can come back, and then she can come forward onto the ramps. Right, we are now underneath the Citroen. That's typical of what she drops. But you can see this little crossmember tube here is quite soggy. Though oddly, it's this side of it seems to be leaking. I think it's this drive shaft seal, like the inboard brakes, so that's not ideal. But the oil then seems to transfer to the tube and come along there. But we've got a drain and a fill. The fill looks almost impossible to get at, how very Citroen. But we'll we'll get it open and we'll squirt in. But yeah, that's the gearbox. See the here's the height controller linkage and all the way down the length. We've got a blow on that exhaust, which I know about because I just reversed into a box and that made it blow even more. But yeah, it all seems pretty solid under here in the right places, so that's good. But yeah, we'll try and get that top one. I ain't meant to get at that. I'll do that off camera, I think, because yeah, this is just annoyingly impossible. Well, in a classic bit of HubNuttery, I decided to drain the gearbox oil, which was worth doing. There were lots of filings on the plug, which is slightly worrying because I don't think I've crunched that many gear changes. And then of course I've discovered I haven't got any of the correct oil. I think 8085 is what I need. I need 1.5 litres of it. God knows how I'm going to get it in there, but we'll worry about that when we come to it. I'm going to have to jump out in Foxan and go and find some, because I don't have any here. That was a bit foolish. A quick run out in Foxan, and I managed to get myself some manual gearbox oil. I hope this is the right stuff. Fully synthetic, GL4. I'm not sure what the MVMTF means. It was £16.90. It was not the cheapest. They did have an 8090, which might have been better, but it was GL5, and I don't want to use GL5 in an old gearbox. GL5 contains nasty stuff, but I'm starting to run out of time, so I'm going to have to crack on because I need to get this car back in use again so I can drive home. So yeah, I'm going to crack on, put some oil in. Not sure how I'm going to put the oil in, but I'll give it a go somehow. Oh, well, that wasn't a fun job. Thankfully, I did find my fluid transfer pump. I think I bought that when I had a Land Rover. Try and have that way so it's not dribbling all over the floor. Those things are immensely useful. Hard work with gearbox oil, but yeah, good. And that's useful because I remember I had to use that on Foxan, or rather I used an entirely wrong thing on Foxan when that would have been better. I'm just going to start the GSA up because I would like to see if it's made any difference to the gearbox noise. It's been very noisy in neutral when you do the first start of the day. Of course, this isn't the first start of the day, but certainly that seems fairly quiet, so we'll go for a drive and see what sort of a difference that makes. Oh jeepers, the weather's getting a bit exciting again. Yeah, I'm somewhat restricted on space still. I need to have a much better go at tidying up so I can actually get a car fully in to work on it. It's not like a GSA is enormous, is it? But there we go. We've got gearbox oil is in the gearbox. Fuel leak we haven't managed to do anything about, and yeah, we'll see how the gearbox goes. I shall do a little test drive snippet. In fact, it goes something like this. Well, with the gearbox oil change, I apologise, I've dropped the external mic. This is just the onboard camera mic. Yeah, the gear change feels a little bit sweeter, which is good because it really didn't feel very nice at all before. That was a further hint that all was not well. It's never the best. It's a very mechanical, clunky gear change anyway, but now it feels that's like purely because of the linkage, not because of cogs. So yeah, I think that's been a useful exercise. The drive shafts are above the level of the filler plug, so it means that when I finally do get that drive shaft seal sorted out, and hopefully that isn't going to be too long away, I haven't got to replace the fluid again. So I was trying to convince myself it was worth doing, but yeah, it all went a bit HubNut. Quite why I decided to drain it, I'm not sure. Narrow country lanes, but yeah, definitely feels a little better, and hopefully we'll get rid of that worrying whir first thing in the morning, because you have to wait for the car to rise up. I do plan to do some footage on this, but GSAs do not like moving if the suspension's completely on rock bottom. So yeah, you really do need to make them rise up. So sitting there ticking over, listening to the gearbox whining, not ideal. But anyway, let's jump back to the past, and I shall finish off. Well, there we go. I'm filming the ending after that because I've got to get on and do other things. But that was the day that was. I'm going to finish off putting this thing back together so I can go for the test drive you've just seen, and we'll crack on. But I hope you've enjoyed this. This is me tinkering, starting to tinker in the new unit. I'm loving it. I know it's just a complete mess in here, but this is HubNut. You're used to it. And I know I've spilled oil all over the lovely floor. This is HubNut. Yeah. Yeah, I need to try and get a bit better at stuff, but it's always good to have noble aims. We can always be better. But I hope you've enjoyed the wireless experience. It's something of a novelty, I must admit, to be able to just, I can just plonk you on a shelf here, and then I can just walk away to the other side of the room. I am liking that very much. It's nice to have that freedom, especially as my Rode wired mic has been letting me down a lot lately, unfortunately. I'm just going to put that in there so I don't lose it. It is crackling a lot. It utterly spoilt my BMW E65 7 Series video. I was having the time of my life in that car. But yeah, obviously check out previous videos. There are a great many of them. Head to the HubNut store if you want to buy lovely merchandise like this. We've got hoodies, t-shirts and mugs for the anniversary. We've got Foxanne stuff. I think we've got some Took stuff left. Myrtle and Nasana and indeed the GSA have not appeared in merchandise form yet. They might at some point. We just see how we go. But yeah, I'm gonna stop now. I need to go and get lunch. So thank you very much for watching. Bye. Ooh, never done a reverse.